Section 37. Achieve. Achieve our goal. We have to work together to achieve our goal. Acquire. Acquire new skills. You should acquire new skills to change your career. Apply. Apply for a passport. You must apply for a passport before going abroad. Escape. Escape from danger. Fortunately, the men managed to escape from danger by crossing the border. Establish. Establish the first public library. Franklin established the first public library in America. Explore. Explore many places. Europeans explored many places in their sailing ships. Grab. Grab me by the hand. He grabbed me by the hand and pulled me out of the rapid river. Imitate. Imitate the behavior of their parents. Small children tend to imitate the behavior of their parents. Lean. Lean back in his chair. He was leaning back in his chair, nodding his head. Maintain. Maintain regular hours. You should maintain regular hours if you want to stay healthy. Obey. Obey school rules. Most parents expect their children to obey school rules. Overcome. Overcome the language barrier. Jake overcame the language barrier through many years of training. Polish. Polish the floor. The servant polished the floor until it shone. Scratch. Scratch his arm. He rolled up his sleeve to scratch his arm. Settle. Settle the problem. I would like to settle the problem as soon as possible. Strike. Strike a thief down. The policeman struck a thief down by force. Struggle. Struggle for the chief position. The two politicians struggled for the chief position. Survive. Survive the accident. The news that her son survived the accident surprised us all. Praise. Praise God. The audience fell silent and listened to the words praising God. Recall. Recall a tough period. I recalled a tough period in my life when my heart was filled with sorrow. Regret. Regret not accepting. She regretted not accepting his repeated proposal. Concern. Be concerned about the future. I want young people to be concerned about the future of our country. Suspect. Suspect that. Why did you suspect that the man was telling a lie? Weep. Weep with joy. She wept with joy to hear from her daughter. Figure. The figure on page 44. Look at the figure on page 44. Figure out the total cost. I figured out the total cost of medical care.
Section 38. Dislike. Dislike running a risk. The leader disliked running a risk at any time. Ignore. Ignore the fact. We can't ignore the fact that our country relies on foreign natural resources. Misunderstand. completely misunderstand him. It seems that you completely misunderstand him. Notice. Notice her absence. I noticed her absence when I saw her empty seat. Concentrate. Concentrate on what you are doing. It's better to concentrate on what you are doing now. Colleague. A former colleague. I met a former colleague at the department store by accident. Companion. With my companions. I enjoyed playing cards with my companions. Detective. A private detective. She hired a private detective to search for her lost pet. Editor. A chief editor. My uncle is a chief editor at a major publisher. Fellow. My fellow worker. As a result of good eating habits, my fellow worker's diet was successful. Fisherman. The wise fisherman. The wise fisherman came back before the wind grew strong. Folk. A folk tale. I listened to a famous actor telling a folk tale on the radio. Hero. Your childhood hero. Do you remember who your childhood hero was? Merchant. The rich merchant. The rich merchant started to deal in leather goods. Poet. An excellent poet. I admit that he is an excellent poet. Priest. The brave priest. The brave priest decided to fight them to save the children. Soldier. The injured soldiers. The doctor treated the injured soldiers on the battlefield. Firm. A firm attitude. We should take a firm attitude towards their decision. Apart. Far apart. How far apart are Tokyo and Osaka? Challenging. Not only interesting, but challenging. Working as a teacher is not only interesting, but challenging. Classical. Classical music. The musician talked proudly about the appeal of classical music. Comical. A comical song. The man was singing a comical song sitting on the lawn. Complex. This complex task. It is necessary for us to focus on this complex task. Delicate. His delicate touch. His delicate touch has won the trust of many fashion designers. Dramatic. A dramatic performance. The audience was impressed by Oliver's dramatic performance.
Section 39. Dull. His dull character. He desires to change his dull character. Elegant. The elegant lady. Who can believe that the elegant lady used such ugly language? Fantastic. A fantastic mood. The magician created a fantastic mood at his show. Fluent. Be fluent in 4 languages. The secretary is shy but fluent in 4 languages. Horrible. That horrible accident. The picture always reminds me of that horrible accident. Huge. The huge athletics stadium. The huge athletics stadium has an open roof. Lazy. Be lazy about learning. Some people are lazy about learning foreign languages. Missing. The missing child. The missing child was found alive by the police. Ordinary. Ordinary people. Ordinary people would like to live an easy life. Raw. Raw fish. It is not unusual for foreign people to eat raw fish in the form of sashimi. Rough. The rough weather. They managed to handle the boat in the rough weather. Smooth. Smooth skin. Blue whales' smooth skin helps them swim quickly. Steady. Make steady progress. Science is making steady progress in various fields. Stress. Suffer extreme stress. I've been suffering extreme stress lately. Terrible. The terrible car accident. The police immediately reacted to the terrible car accident. Typical. A typical example of. The weather this year shows us a typical example of unusual weather. Wisdom. Full of wisdom and humor. He is a gentle man full of wisdom and humor. Exist. Exist on a planet. Do you believe any life forms exist on any planet other than Earth? Anxious. Be anxious about the examination. The nervous student was anxious about the examination. Relief. To our relief. To our relief, the guard recognized us and responded to the situation immediately. Ashamed. Be ashamed of. You should be ashamed of treating him badly. Attractive. Look more attractive. Beautiful jewelry made the queen look more attractive. Aware. Be aware of the danger. We were well aware of the danger of it. Conscious. Be conscious of your own faults. You should be conscious of your own faults if you want to change your character. Content. Be content with my present position. Needless to say, I am content with my present position. Content. The content of the book. I don't know much of the content of the book.
Section 40. Cruel. Their cruel ruler. At last the people of the country rose against their cruel ruler. Fate. Accept his fate. It wasn't easy for the hero to accept his fate. Idle. Sit idle. I would rather work hard than sit idle. Ambitious. The ambitious merchant. The ambitious merchant was not satisfied with his business situation. Intelligence. A high degree of intelligence. The human race has a high degree of intelligence. Passion. Develop a passion for art. The boy lost interest in his schoolwork and developed a passion for art. Selfish. His selfish behavior. His selfish behavior made us mad. Shame. Feel shame. Tom's mother felt shame at her son's rude behavior. Sorrow. Cry in sorrow. He cried in sorrow when a close friend became seriously ill. Uneasy. Feel uneasy about her future. She doesn't feel uneasy about her future any longer. Attitude. A positive attitude. The woman tries to have a positive attitude to everything. Average. On average. How many people on average take part in the contest every year? Biology. Take the biology class. I regret not taking the biology class at high school. Cell. Blood cells. The researcher removed blood cells from the patient. Chemical. Chemical weapons. The production of chemical weapons is against international law. Effect. The greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect will do more and more damage to the animals and plants on the earth. Instrument. A traditional musical instrument. The koto is one of the traditional Japanese musical instruments. Laboratory. A university laboratory. The new drug for the disease was developed in a university laboratory. Measure. Measure the distance. How did you measure the distance from your house to the station? Object. A strange object. I saw a strange object in the sky. Object. Object to the strict law. They objected to the strict law controlling free trade. Observation. Close observation. Close observation led him to his great discovery. Psychology. Child psychology. He has become an expert in child psychology. Scholar. A scholar of international politics. The president was famous as a scholar of international politics. Telescope. The invention of the telescope. Astronomy has made rapid progress since the invention of the telescope. Theory. Test his theory. He performed some experiments to test his theory.